And welcome back to The Wrap. There's a growing debate boiling now about the role of nurse practitioners, nurses who perform many of the same functions as doctors. A New York Times article caught our attention. Doctoring without the doctor is the headline. 20 states now have laws in the books allowing nurse practitioners with advanced degrees to practice without a doctor's supervision. But groups like the American Medical Association oppose laws giving practitioners more autonomy. One doctor points out that nurses have just about 4% of the total clinical hours that doctors do when they start out. But nurse practitioners say their care is as good, if not better, than doctors. And they argue they're filling a void to treat the millions of patients who are now under Obamacare. Well, our own Rick Unger went undercover to find out what the masses think about nurse practitioners.
One of the big questions in medicine today is whether or not it's a good idea to replace physicians with nurse practitioners and physician assistants. We decided to find out how people would feel about this. Let's go see what they think. If you went to see the doctor because you weren't feeling well, and instead of getting to see the doctor, you ended up with a nurse practitioner, how would you feel about that?
Well, I would prefer to see the doctor. I believe that they know what's wrong with me more. I would think that they went to school for it, so I would hope that the doctor would see me and let me know if I'm going to be okay.
It depends on what the sickness was, I guess, but most nurses are pretty well educated and have been doing it for quite a long time. In my experience, they're usually pretty knowledgeable, so I wouldn't feel awful, again, depending on what the sickness would be.
What if I told you it would cost you a whole lot less money to see the nurse practitioner?
I would probably bite. I'd probably go for it.
I mean, I guess it would depend on why I'm at the doctor. So it might make me feel a little uncomfortable, but I feel like for the most part, I'd be fine with it. That would actually, I would like that better, I guess.
You'd like it better?
Less expensive, yeah.
I wouldn't like it.
Why not?
Because I have a doctor for a reason, so why is he not taking care of me?
Now, what if I told you that by seeing the nurse practitioner, your bill would be substantially less? It would cost you less.
That would be good. Like, if I knew that, I would probably be okay with it.
I'm okay with that.
Tell us why.
Economics, pure and simple. I do think that if we can drive care down to its lowest level, that there is a more efficient cost, yeah.
From my experience, the doctor is usually better than the nurse practitioners. You feel more confident, they give you better answers, results. I don't think I'd care because with insurance, like, it doesn't cost you much anyway, so like how much less, it's not going to matter. I'd rather see someone I feel more confident in.
I would presume that the nurse practitioner was qualified to receive me in whatever capacity I was there, that the doctor approved that visit being structured in that fashion, and that if there were anything more serious to be reviewed or diagnosed, that the doctor would become involved.
There you have it. Some are for it, some are against it. But the one thing that it seems to come down to, if you vote in favor of more nurse practitioners, you like the idea that it might cost you less. So that's it for today. Man on the Street going back into the studio and the rest of the gang.
Dollars and cents, Rick. That's what it seemed to come down.
You know, it was fascinating. That is, as soon as I would say to them, what if it cost a lot less? Then they would go, oh, well then.
Well, then the other thing that's important in the discussion is access. You know, you can often wait weeks to see a doctor, depending on, as they all said, what you're going in there for. But you can see a nurse practitioner the next day, and they can treat you, they can give you prescriptions, they can do diagnoses, they can look at tests, they can do almost anything a doctor can do.
That's absolutely right. And in rural areas where there is no doctor, or the doctor comes once a week or once a month, they are critically important. Listen, I've been a huge fan of this program, physician's assistants, nurse practitioners, for years. I think they are going to be a huge part not only of the medical system, but of the medical solution.
Particularly in an aging population, though, where more and more people are going to need access to health care. And maybe the ER has a 3-4 hour wait, or as Rick said, they're in rural areas where you can't even get to a doctor.
Yeah, I couldn't help but notice that just about all the people that you spoke with were younger or in their early middle ages. Probably not people who are dealing with chronic ailments.
There were no old folks in the park, but you're right.
They're probably all at the doctor. And these are the individuals, these are the people who use doctors frequently and actually need them to identify and isolate problems early on before they become issues. If you're talking to somebody who's chronically ill, the cost-benefit analysis probably changes dramatically.
Well, I'd just point out, I'm one of those people, and I have been seeing a nurse practitioner for 11 years for a particular problem that I have. I've never even met the doctor I was sent to see. Wouldn't know her if I tripped over.
And studies show that the nurse practitioners do just as well. And
Yeah.
in fact, if you're seeing someone over a period of years, you see the doctor more often. He might ask to see you more often, but the nurse practitioner gives you as good results. So I think it's the wave of the future, and depending on the specialty, it may be preferable.
You know, we're seeing a rise in, at least I do in New Jersey, urgent cares.
Yes.
Yes.
Kind of
Yes.
like
They're
hospitals.
great.
Yes.
They are great.
It's like the fast food for it. Obviously, that the care is of a high quality.
Yeah, and
but
you're in and out in no time.
that's the thing.
It's
The wait
fabulous.
times is what's hurting hospitals.
But it's
now.
different. And to Noah's point, urgent care is great unless you are chronically ill, in which case, and you do,
Right.
whoever you're seeing, you want to build up a relationship with that person. If it's a nurse practitioner, that's great. If it's a doctor, even better. But I think that that's part of the problem as
For
well.
young people, it's the good enough model,
That's right.
Okay, just
Give
get
them
me
the
through whatever this
medication.
ailment I'm having, including what I'm having right now, but a discussion for another time. Anyway, how would you like to see the rich taxed at 90%? Bernie Sanders thinks it's a wonderful idea. Don't go anywhere.